Good evening, Dougie, and welcome everybody to the city of Bari, the 16th Italian city to host their national side in recent times. And this match has been brought here, we're told, because of the passion of the fans in the southern part of Italy. It will match the support given by the Tartan Army. I'll tell you what, it is a keen support. Thousands of them turned up last night in torrential rain to watch Italy train. They didn't hang around for Scotland too much, but they love their team here, the World Cup winners. The World Cup has been on display here in Bari. They're very, very proud as we prepare here for the national anthems. The brass band gets ready to play Flower of Scotland, and the Scotland fans get their throats ready. Well, in the good old days of vinyl, that would have been a 45 played at 33. A different noise round the stadium for Fratelli d'Italia, the Brothers of Italy. Simply magnificent round the stadium. The Brothers of Italy, plenty of Sisters of Italy in here too, enjoying the atmosphere and singing their songs. Italy last played in November. A planned friendly with Romania was cancelled after the recent Serie A problems. They last played competitively against Georgia at home and won. They make two changes. In comes Rino Gattuso, as does Marco Materazzi.
Yeah, I think it's a 4-2-3-1. If, as expected, Italy have a lot of possession of the ball, you'd expect Camoranesi, Perotta and Di Natale to come out very early and support Luca Toni.
A tremendous array of talent for Italy. For Scotland, Greg Biddy's goal, perhaps a defining moment in the campaign on Saturday. One change on that side, Chris Boyd onto the bench. He's been used as a sub in both away qualifiers. It's a first start and a great night for Scott Brown.
Yeah, we've got it down as 4-5-1, but as Pat Gordon said, there is four midfield players in there that like to get forward. If we do well in the game, it could potentially be a 4-3-3 with Gary Teal and Lee McCullough pushing forward.
And the substitutes this evening, Christian Daly was a contender for a starting place, so was Stephen Presley, but both those experienced players left on the bench by Alex McLeish. Well, the atmosphere is just building round here. Scotland have won 3 of the last 4 qualifying matches away from home. Norway, Slovenia and Lithuania. The loss came against Ukraine. Well, Scott Brown, what a night from just over 4 years since his debut with Hibs. It's his first start from the start. He played against the USA, he played on Saturday. This, a whole different ballgame.
Well, it's a massive game for the young man, but I agree with the guys in the studio. It's a real gutsy call by Alex McLeish playing the team he's playing. You know, 4 of the 5 midfield players all like to get forward, including Barry Ferguson, who's no sitter tonight.
It's our 5th trip to Italy. Both Craig Brown and Walter Smith made their debuts as national manager in Italy. Alex McLeish at least has 1 game under his belt. So Steve McManus, the first start for Scotland on Saturday. He gets the nod once more, and he plays at the back alongside David Weir. Our referee this evening is a man almost certain to be at Euro 2008. The Belgian Frank de Blaquier has experience of both the finals of Euro 2004 and the World Cup in 2006, and as his country ain't doing too well, he could be their only representative in Austria and Switzerland. It's a big night, it's live on the BBC. It's Italy against Scotland. Scotland in their new kit, it boasts Italian styling. Our team may not do the same, but they've got the pride and the passion and the cross of our patron saint emblazoned on the chest of the new strip, along, of course, with the lion rampant and the saltire. Materazzi with a header. On to Ferguson. Pulls it down onto McCulloch. Cameronese will try to close down Naismith. There's a few bumps and bobbles on the pitch. We've had heavy rain here, certainly yesterday, for the last few days, according to the locals, as Kenny Miller draws an early free kick.
I think without a doubt as well, Alex has been even more bold. I think Scott Brown is playing almost as a second striker. He's certainly pushing way up the pitch beside Kenny Miller with a midfield 4 behind him.
Marotta in your picture, just moving away. Paul Hartley gets ready to float it in. Bruno Gattuso back defending. Plenty of players fall for Scotland, including Lee McCulloch just on the edge of the D. Scott Brown there. Hartley's delivery is crucial. Missed by 1, comes out to Weir. Good setup onto Teal, trying to push it wide. Actually drops it back. Alexander on the angle, looking for Miller. Goes down very, very quickly indeed by Cameronese. Gattuso can't get there, and Paul Hartley will use Craig Gordon. So expect a few bobbles on the surface. Was cutting up a little bit last night in training. Italy move forward, neatly done, good control. Cameronese wanted the ball out wide, but Di Natale wanted just to play it through, and I thought he had options there. Good tackle.
He did. It was a great tackle. I think Stephen McManus, who started the game on Saturday really well, covered his centre back really well, David Weir. But that was one thing that happened on Saturday, Paul. Georgia, they're allowed to get in behind us far too often, particularly in that 20-minute spell in the first half. A little bit too easy for Italy there.
First corner of the evening. Weir can't get the header in, but there's pushing going on inside the 6-yard box. Luca Toni is a big physical presence in there. Coming forward to the captain, Cannavaro. You might not recognise him, he has grown his hair back.
Yeah, just a little push there. Materazzi.
So Scotland through Craig Gordon. They've scored in only 3 of the last 7 away qualifiers. The last blank came in Belarus, the 0-0 for both teams. They drew a blank last time in Italy when they lost 2-0 in Milan, but it took 2 great strikes to beat them on that evening. Another low trajectory from Craig Gordon. Cameronese picks up, a little bit of fouling going on. Gary Naismith was out of position. Play continued as Gattuso and Ferguson have a little tangle.
That won't be the first time, it won't be the last time in the game, but I thought Craig Gordon's kicking on Saturday wasn't up to his usual standard in there. It could cost Scotland.
Massimo Odo, former Lazio captain now with AC Milan, stands poised. Decent ball into the box. I'm not really too sure the Scotland defenders were too happy about how they defended it. Look at Tony, the man moving forward. He's just a man mountain in there.
He is a big lad on it. That's one player I think they've got to mark very, very tightly. Don't allow him clear headers in the box. I mean, it's not a fantastic cross into the box, but Tony gets above 2 of the defenders there. Luckily, Craig Gordon has it covered. It's important the full-backs don't push way up the pitch tonight. Play it nice and tight, just a narrow 4, and try and silence the crowd in the first 15-20 minutes, because the atmosphere is unbelievable.
McCulloch with a flick on, but he was fouling Gattuso. Little pat on the head for the Wigan man. Gattuso, well, he was at Rangers as a boy. He plays for Italy as a man. Kenny Miller immediately just ball back. Materazzi floats it forward. Cameronese took a little bit of a battering down there. Luca Toni, it was just on the edge of the box, and Toni was battling there, but Scotland none too happy and comfortable with the defending, and it was really a poor challenge from McManus.
Yeah, it's a type of ball that centre-back, it happens at every level of football. That type of ball a centre-back can't win. You've just got to defend it and get the second ball. Dangerous situation. No Pirlo though.
Well, it's a Pirlo territory. Craig Gordon lost one of the goals, Rap Douglas lost the other. Materazzi moves back. Also behind him, De Rossi. Plenty of threats. De Rossi standing. Plenty of men on the wall. Materazzi moves up. The deflection, you're always nervous with a deflection. And the worst that happened was a corner.
Well, it was certainly going on target there. Materazzi, he's a big lad, he's as hard as Tarzan's feet.
Cameronese swirling the ball in, and Kenny Miller has to pull it away. Odo. Well, the offside flag should come up there. It was offside all the way. The second the ball was floated in, Tony comes in with a header, but there was offside all the way.
I wish I had your confidence there. I thought it was a wee bit tight there. But he is off, half a yard off. It's a good line Scotland held there. Well done, Paul, you're keeping me right there.
He is such a danger. 10 goals already in his career. Holding off the likes of Gilardino, who wants to be in the squad. Donadoni, you see there, a man under real pressure. Materazzi and Miller battle for it. Some afters too. And Kenny Miller none too happy the way he was stood on there. Materazzi received the key to the city of Bari yesterday in a ceremony along with Perotta and Zambrotta. Just a little bit of afters, just catching him.
There's a little David Beckham-esque wee flick there, but the referee never caught it.
Well, there's one or two signs as Alex McLeish looks on. These Italians just a little bit rattled. In Italic onto Cannavaro. Materazzi just overhitting Zambrotta, moving forward.
That's a great example of Scott Brown where he's playing. I mean, if he's up there pressing the ball as a second striker, they're almost up alongside Kenny Miller. It's a really adventurous formation Alex went with.
Graham Alexander, the fourth start of the campaign. And from Preston North End on to Gary Teal. Little flick ball through. De Rossi trying to get involved. Naismith forward. Get your header away from De Rossi. Cameronese. Gattuso's made a good run. Just trying to spray the ball forward. Away from Di Natale. Cannavaro always reliable at the back, but poor distribution from Buffon, who was a doubt for this match with a stomach complaint. De Rossi. Natale trying to pick out Toni. Up against Weir. Good play from David Weir. Graham Alexander. You hear the yells of Graham from up here, and we're some distance from the pitch.
Just giving the ball away too easily just now, Scotland. You know, I think we need to get Barry Ferguson and Paul Hartley 3 or 4 easy passes, keep possession of the ball.
That was a good challenge by Scott Brown. 10 on 10. Brown on De Rossi. And McCulloch trying to link with his former Wigan teammate Teal. Given away too easily. De Rossi picks up once more onto Gattuso. Without really pressing too hard, that was a poor pass forwards.
Well, that type of ball, you know, the Scotland defence going to deal with comfortably, and the more of that, the better in terms of Scotland.
Tight down the touchline. McCulloch just takes a tickle off the Italian. Cameronese, I think it's a smashing player. He's got so much danger, 2 good feet, moves well. Donadoni looking on at Scott Brown. I'm sure he expected him to play. Brown holds off Cannavaro. Cannavaro was holding him first. What a dream for Scott Brown to be up against somebody the quality of Fabio Cannavaro.
Yeah, great strength shown by Scott Brown there. He'll be pleased that he's got a free roll, although, a minute ago you saw him tracking back. He will try and get a nick into the sitting midfielders, but he's certainly the first support player to Kenny Miller when Scotland's attack.
Barry Ferguson. It's the ball back, Kenny Miller. Off for Brown. Again, just strikes away Odo. Going for the byline. Gets away. Decent little ball across. Well, Scotland really putting the pressure on. Mr. Rossi came across with a header away. And the group already today, Ukraine and Georgia both won at home. They're hoping to avoid a hat-trick of home wins. Ferguson for Scotland. On to Brown. Sends it for Naismith. He try and win the corner. Odo came across, Gary Naismith. Well, he felt that he had won the corner kick and didn't agree with the decision of the Belgian ref.
I felt it was a corner kick as well, but I think Scott Brown just to take a little bit more notice, an easy pass to play, take a little bit more care and make sure Naismith could get to the ball, because that was an opportunity for Scotland there.
Well, some people think that Italy and their current state are vulnerable in 40 home European Championship qualifiers. They've lost just 3 times. Sweden in '83, Croatia in '94, and Denmark, the last team to leave with all 3 points packed in the plane back in 1999. Gattuso closed down by McCulloch. Manages to get the ball away. Not really much change though for Perrotta. McCulloch waits for it. Odo jumped. It's a neat ball. Perrotta trying to get it on to Toni. Now, it was a decent challenge from McManus, but watch Luca Toni. He's got springs in his boots and he'll jump up and dive at the drop of a hat.
Well, I think Steve McManus got the ball, but similar to Saturday, I think in these type of games you're not going to get away with showing the sole of your boot there. You see that, it's a little bit of a lunge. I think you're right, I don't think it caught Luca Toni, but it's certainly a foul. It's going to be given as a foul.
He'll be appearing on Dancing on Ice very soon, Toni. Such a slippery surface grass. Odo. Another tempting ball in! It's exceptionally tempting! And Luca Toni is the man who is dangerous. A familiar story, a different backdrop. Scotland fall behind and Italy again.
Well, the warning signs are there, Paul. I mean, that's his third free header inside the 18-yard box. You're going to do that to a world-class striker. Eventually he'll get good service and he'll put the ball in the net. Scotland have got to get tighter. Didn't quite see who's delegated to pick him up. It's either David Weir or Steve McManus. I mean, Steve McManus just got there far too late there. There really needs to be somebody in front of Luca Toni there to get the clearing header. That's a savage boat in Scotland.
Unmarked, untouched and unmissable. It's a scoreline we dreaded. Scotland 1, Italy 0. With a dozen minutes gone, Scotland trying to reply. Teal is onside, plenty of support, and Zambrotta knocks it away. How can Scotland tease Italy with a corner?
One thing from Saturday's got to be better. Paul Hartley's delivery. We know he's capable of top-class delivery. Saturday was a wee bit below par, wasn't it? He's got to do better tonight.
We're forward, so too McManus. Buffon stays on his line. Scott Brown was up, but he just pushed Massimo Odo, the 30-year-old from AC Milan, onto the surface. Just a little bit over-eager there, Scott Brown.
Again, it wasn't a particularly great delivery. Here's the goal again. It is a good ball into the danger area, but he's got to be in the front area. Steve McManus here, got to get closer.
Italy 1, Scotland 0, and Donadoni. Now there's relief. McCulloch. Back on to Gattuso to take the free kick. Odo. Inside Miller. Left foot cross deep this time, and pushing going on once more. A little bit of an arm fling out there by Luca Toni. He's certainly a little bit petulant at times. Scotland can try and noise him up slightly, but he's already done the damage. Simone Perrotta The Roma player will be off to Old Trafford in the next week or so. Well, the Italian bench happy. And Alex McLeish, like every other Scottish manager who's brought his team to Italy, has to plod away to bring them from behind.
The annoying thing, Paul, is that Italy didn't have to work particularly hard to score that goal. It was a bog standard ball into the box and a comfortable header. We've got to make it work harder to get any joy against Scotland.
De Rossi onto Di Natale. Back to De Rossi. Gattuso. Cameronese yelling for the ball. Perotta is in an advanced situation again. Comes on to Gattuso. Cannavaro. Over now, Italy just spraying the ball about. Gattuso. Forward, turned away by David Weir. Italy have never lost in this stadium. They've played half a dozen times. They've won all 6. They've lost just 4 goals in the process as the offside flag goes up from Peter Harmans, the assistant on this near side.
Well, you can feel the confidence in the stadium now. I felt the first 5-10 minutes there was a little atmosphere. You recognise Italy are having a rough time just now, but they've grown in confidence within the stadium and on the pitch.
Scotland have defeated the existing world champions before. Took care of England and Argentina in the past. Here in Bari, they trail Naismith to Ferguson. We are on to McManus. There's plenty more space on the right. Scotland stay left. Miller with a lovely flick. Great touch from McCulloch. Running through is Ferguson. Just couldn't deliver. Scott Brown had taken up great position in the box. Down by Odo. That's one of the world champions. They're having to play their way out of defence. Perotta leaves Hartley standing. Naismith scrambling to get back. Perotta for Toni. Toni holding up. Natale's made a great run. An interception almost from heaven there for Scotland. It was much needed.
Well, it's great play for Scotland, but the defending by Odo in the corner was unbelievable. Under pressure, he backheels it to his teammate 10 yards away.
The quality is all over the park in blue. And Scotland match up. Luca Toni with the opening goal. Miller closing down. De Rossi plays an interesting role. Daniele De Rossi comes short, tries to pick the ball up from the central defenders and then launch these kind of attacks. Important touch from Alexander. On to Weir. Sliding in the midfield was Gattuso. Natale, that far side. And goes Italy's way. No luck for Graham Alexander. Well, they couldn't have scripted a better start for his side. The referee just calling that right.
Yeah, the referee's had a lot of decisions so far and he's got most of them right.
Zambrotta, always a danger down the left. Alexander sits off. And Donadoni just handles the ball, plays it on to Massimo Odo.
Scotland have just gone through a period that the player in possession just hasn't got a lot of options, hence we're giving the ball away far too easy, far too cheap. I think Scott Brown is actually maybe pushing on maybe too much. He's playing as a striker, not a second striker just now. Sometimes he's ahead of Kenny Miller.
Zambrotta to Materazzi. And Gattuso. Cannavaro. All household names. Toni beautifully brought down. Alexander tried to turn it away. Natale. Oh, Toni takes the roll and takes it past David Weir. And the free kick awarded.
I mean, it was theatrical, but it was a foul because he's just done David Weir for skill there. I mean, he has thrown himself, but it was a foul. Got to defend this set play better than the one earlier in the game.
Well, on the right side they got it wrong. From the left side, can they do better? Gordon just yelling. Cameronese and Toni just slightly ahead of the pack at the moment. Nobody appears to be picking up Toni. He's being allowed to run free. Oh, the free kick comes in. Craig Gordon takes it, but from where I was watching here, I couldn't see anybody directly on Luca Toni.
No, I think Scotland were marking zonally there, which is, considering the first goal, is strange.
Hartley with a flick. Smith just bangs the ball up against Perrotta. The Scotland man of the match this evening. You can give us a call, 090 11 110 861. And the prize courtesy of Tennants. We'll see you at Hampden on November the 17th for Scotland against Italy, the return match. And it's the last match for Scotland in the campaign, although the campaign doesn't finish for the rest of the teams until the following Wednesday. Cameronese popping up on the left-hand side. Zambrotta onto Perrotta. Here's Odo. Odo inside to Gattuso. Scotland have sat off him. Just plays the ball gently through. Just a miscommunication, or Italy could have been in once more.
I think the front three supporting Luca Toni are causing Scotland all sorts of problems. Cameronese, Perrotta and Di Natale are all taking up really intelligent positions.
Inside to Kenny Miller. Ferguson back to Miller. And Rossi knocks the ball out of play. The Roma youth now established in the Roma side. Ferguson looking for Miller, splits the two defenders, neat pass back. Teal against Zambrotta. Well, Gary Teal knows he has to do better than that, and the look on Alex McLeish's face said it all.
Yeah, he has. He's got to produce in the wider areas. It's usually one of Gary's strengths. He gets to the byline there, and when he does take a chance to cross it, if he doesn't get it right, usually Scotland win a corner from it, but it must do better.
Scotland have only scored 3 goals in 8 matches against the Italians. They've drawn blanks 5 times. Kenny Miller did give Scotland the lead at Hampden. And Scotland look to him once more. Scott Brown on the ball. Rides the challenge. Hartley, that was cut out by Toni. Very tight for Gary Teal. Hartley on to Ferguson. Scotland looking for the first meaningful attack of the match. Ferguson on to McCulloch. Alexander yelling for the ball. Plenty of white shirts forward. The touch out wide onto Teal. Low ball in. Kenny Miller with a touch. Almost stumbled away. Kenny Miller still in there. And Materazzi goes across. Well, should he have gone down with a touch?
I was going to say, was he a little bit too honest here, Kenny Miller? It's not like him, mind you, but I tell you what it was great football from Scotland. Really good crisp passing, a good ball in from Gary Teal. I don't think it would have been awarded if it was softer as well to stand up, but they got it from side and part to the other side. Really good play, encouraging.
Kenny Miller scored in 6 of his last 10 starts for Scotland. Lee McCulloch available. Hartley on the right foot. Weir is up into the back post, almost flicked across by Kenny Miller, but the offside flag was up for the Celtic striker. And he says simply one word to the official: how?
Well, they didn't look offside, did he? And he'll probably be pleased he was now, because it was a decent chance. Yeah, it's just offside there. Yeah, it's half a yard off. Far better delivery by Paul Hartley.
Good to see David Weir coming up as well, causing some problems. He's only scored once for his country in 53 matches, but he does have that ability.
Well, Alex's tactics have been really, really positive, and that includes all the set plays so far. McManus and Weir have come forward.
Ferguson loses out to Perrotta. Flick forward by Di Natale. And Di Natale just flicks it through into the arms of Craig Gordon. Well, a great touch from Zambrotta. Continues his run. Has support. Di Natale. Zambrotta again, teasing in, Weir away.
That's the area somebody should have been at the goal, that front area. It was really good positioning by David Weir.
Kenny Miller doing his job, holding up well, brings Brown into the action, just a little short back to Kenny Miller though. Tough challenge from Gattuso. Studs showing all over the park. The referee allows play to continue. It's Perrotta. Advanced position now. Camoranesi plays it back in. The offside flag was up. Scotland weren't going to be troubled, but again Italy show that they like to flow, they like to move the ball quickly.
Yeah, what it was a great run by Luca Toni. He moved inside and allowed Camoranesi up on the outside. But I thought Scotland, if the referee's been consistent, could probably get a foul earlier on in the movement, because the Italian player, I think it may have been Cannavaro, certainly showed his stud to the challenge.
Well, Kenny Miller just on the end of one or two rough challenges. But he'll battle away all day up there, the Scotland number 9. McCulloch loses out to Otto. Referee allows play to continue. Brown tries to find Teal. Zambrotta. De Rossi. Battles well. Tony's first touch was that of an elephant. I don't see that too often. De Rossi again. Yelling for the ball, standing in the midfield area, not getting it. And Zambrotta. Otto on to Perrotta. Camoranesi. Not for the first time getting past Hartley. Turns the ball back in field. Natale. Brown holds up for Scotland. Yet to really test Buffon and goals. Alexander to Teal. On to Ferguson. Kenny Miller looking for a little support. Gattuso comes in, just nips the ball away. The best ball back across. De Rossi was waiting for it though.
That's really good play by Barry Ferguson again. He's the one player that looks as if he will put his foot in the ball, but Kenny Miller's touch has got to be better there. He's got to hold it in and link with whoever's coming in support.
Donatelli on that far side again, had an opportunity, didn't take it coming forward. Scott Brown for Scotland. McCulloch trying to jump out of the way, allow the ball to run through onto Naismith. Otto was waiting for it. Gattuso. Donatelli has made a good run down the right hand side. Zambrotta may push it forward to him. Perrotta's come into the middle. Donatelli just not getting in there. Scotland give it away again, can't hold up. And the free kick conceded. De Rossi is going to the turf and Scott Brown taking him down.
That's what's, you know, when Scotland are playing with Kenny Miller up there and he's only Scott Brown support, when Kenny Miller gets decent service, he must control the ball, he must take it in and link with his players and let his defence out.
So Italy 1, Scotland 0. Luca Toni with a header. That's what separates the sides. The only man to score in Italy for Scotland against the Azzurri, Kevin Gallagher. Scotland were down at the time. Who's going to be the next Kevin Gallagher? Because Scotland certainly need them. Camoranesi can't get the ball from Otto. Tony rumbles across. McManus onto his goalkeeper. Well, if there was one part of the field that didn't have a white shirt on it, it was that. And Craig Gordon picked it out. De Rossi. Zambrotta goes on the advance. Gary Teal with him. Zambrotta is tricky. Gattuso. Otto's made a terrific run down this right hand side. Flicks the ball away. And McManus was looking for help. He got it from Naismith. Cannavaro against Miller. Miller held him off well. No free. Oh, I was going to say no free kick awarded. The referee's whistle had a time delay on it, and eventually Scotland get that free kick.
I think to be fair to the referee, I think he was waiting to see if Scott Brown could get onto the loose ball there, but it was quite obviously a free kick. Little nudge there by Cannavaro.
Looks so strange with the hair grown back in Cannavaro and the crew cut we came used to in the World Cup, and all those pictures of the World Cup being held aloft. But he's a real hero around these parts. His name getting the loudest cheer when the team sheets were read out. Ferguson on to Hartley. Gary Naismith close down by Cameronese. Cameronese going in again up against McCulloch. Should be a Scotland throw. Offside flag will go up there against Scott Brown, just trying to come in the wrong side of Cannavaro. And Alex McLeish just trying to issue one or two instructions in.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little naive, the run, because you see there he's not a yard offside, he's 4 or 5 yards offside. I think in that occasional Scotland have got to try and keep the ball, just keep possession of the ball.
Well, it's serious Italy on the pitch this evening. They've not won any of the last 4 friendlies, but they've lost only one of the last 4 competitive matches. They seem to be able to raise it to a certain level when it matters.
Yeah, I mean, a very good shape about their team as well, which is causing Scotland all sorts of problems, and Luca Toni's getting allowed too much freedom.
Perotta, the English-born Italian, tries the challenge on Paul Hartley. Nice to see from the two players the fair play, and plenty of applause around the stadium for that as well. There's 1 or 2 in the Italian FA sitting there that will be relieved as much as Donadoni. The other side are ahead. It's interesting again, with Scotland winning against Georgia, the expectations perhaps went up for this match, but conversely it's not so vital that we actually take something from it. But the players seem to be very relaxed and very settled and don't seem to be affected too badly by the fact they're 1 down.
No, they don't. I mean, I do think we maybe need to try and change the shape a little bit. I mean, there's great play with Barry Ferguson, but they're not playing poorly. It's just Italy right at this minute, man for man, are superior. It's as simple as that.
More examples of that kind of play. Brown and Ferguson seem to get a good understanding.
Yeah, that's happened 2 or 3 times. Barry Ferguson's just given a little no-look pass inside, and Scott Brown's in 4 or 5 yards of space. The disappointing thing, Paul, is that the goal Scotland lost was so avoidable. It was just a bog standard that you'll see in an amateur game on a Saturday afternoon, so that was avoidable. That's what's disappointing so far.
Gianluigi Buffon, the UEFA Cup winner, has won all the major honours here in Italy. So far untroubled, the man who's playing in Serie B for Juventus. McManus in field. On to Hartley. Toni going out towards Alexander. Played on to Teal. Closed down by Zambrotta. Alexander then tries to play it down the touchline. The ball has stayed in. Teal won't get there though. Materazzi across. Gattuso, loose ball. Ferguson won the header. On to McCulloch. Go for the snapshots. Good effort from Lee McCulloch. Really tried hard, yet to score for his country, but he does test Buffon.
Well, it fell perfectly for him as well, didn't it? I mean, it was a great header. I think it was Barry Ferguson won the header, just dropping, waiting to be hit there. Lee McCulloch, I don't think he just quite catches. It's one of them you want to get really high, and it dips just at the end of the crossbar. But you know, found himself in a decent area inside the park. It's a good effort.
Well, Scott Brown unfortunately down at the moment. Just a challenge in the midfield. And he doesn't stay down for too long, Scott Brown. He wants to get back up, just shake of the head as the little cart comes on to try and take him off. But the Scotland backroom team on very, very quickly. There are worries for Alex McLeish. He played against Italy back in 1998 in Perugia. The friendly, Scotland lost by 2-0. They wore white that night as well.
Well, let's hope that's not a sign of things to come. But I think the last 5-10 minutes, Barry Ferguson has started to influence the game. Be it the header he won there, or 2 or 3 little passes, he's kept control of the football. And Scotland are bedding in now, and you know, it's 1-0. We're still in the game. There's no doubt about that.
Rather given away by Weir into Zambrotta. Gattuso. When it comes to attacking fullbacks, they don't come much better than Zambrotta. He loves to go forward, tackled that time by Teal.
He has his outstanding, he realises. Magnificent play.
It's an automatic choice for his country. 62 caps, a 63rd this evening. He continues to be outstanding down that left side. Bruno Gattuso just going up, a little bit of pushing going on there. Scotland get the decision. Although the ball had gone out for a throw on that far side. Graham Alexander, 35 years old Alexander, playing at right fullback for Scotland. Onto the left fullback, Naismith. Hartley sitting deep, Naismith again. McCulloch tried to watch that come over. Cannavaro again just doesn't head it out of play. He looked in field, he spotted Gattuso, found him with a header. Scott Brown just a bit over eager, takes the feet of Gattuso.
Well, Pat mentioned it before the game. Scott Brown and Gattuso, it's, you know, if they can get close in the game, it'll be a hell of a battle. But again, it was Cannavaro's positioning that made that. You know, he read the situation early and was there in time, not just to make a desperate clearance, but keep the ball for his country.
He's only 5'9", plays so well in the air as well. Terrific player. Materazzi, his normal partner, alongside him. Ferguson neatly on to Scott Brown. Only Kenny Miller ahead of him. Alexander is teal wide. Well watched though by Zambrotta. Ferguson to Naismith. Odo came in. Well, he might have had his eye on the ball when he clattered the man.
I think if that was in the Scottish Premier League, I don't think you'd have a foul there. I thought Odo had his eye on the ball and won it.
Roy Aitken. He's checking that something's happening out there that he wants to see. Paul Hartley with a delivery. Scotland looking for the equaliser. Hartley and the goalkeeper comes, picks it up off his laces unchallenged.
It's a decent area from Paul Hartley. I don't know why Scotland didn't able to attack that area.
Dinatale moving forward. Turned away by Weir. Now Gary Teal. The Italians slightly spread out at the moment. Hartley looks up. Kelly Naismith, he didn't have time to bring it down. Cameron Azy would have been right on him. Lee McCulloch holding off Gattuso, and then Gattuso just brings him down.
It was good play by Lee McCulloch, good strong play. You know, I don't think there was any intent by Gattuso, but it was a foul. He maybe got a wee slap there as well. The big lad will be up to shake that off.
Well, Scotland again have a free kick here, and again in a dangerous position, but they've not really made any of them count.
No, this is where Paul Hartley's at his best, from this side, swinging in the way. You need to get around the back space, the back area of the box.
So Hartley, who made his debut in Milan. Long ball, man drives down at the far side. Well, Lee McCulloch felt there was contact there.
I thought there was contact, Paul. I watched it clearly, just as I said, the back area. That's where Lee McCulloch went. Maybe it was accidental, but he was certainly challenged by an Italian jersey. Odo
with a towering pass forward. And Italian just falling to his knees there. McManus. Kenny Miller holds up well, but the flag's up. Kenny Miller had come back from an offside position to take part in the game. Well, was there a tangle of legs? The referee looking across, the assistant too had a good view.
I think there was a tangle of legs, but as I said, I think it was accidental. And the fact that Lee McCulloch threw his arms out meant the referee wasn't going to give it.
Zambrotta. Infield it goes. Nice turn. Dinatale. Back onto Zambrotta. Zambrotta again. Tony's taking up good position. Cameron Azy was there. Dinatale again. He scored a couple of times for his country, the last in the friendly against Turkey, which propelled them into the international reckoning for the European Championships, and he has proved to be a danger.
Yeah, he has. I said Cameron Azy, Dinatale and Perot are all playing very well. They're taking a really intelligent position. The wide players aren't staying wide all the time. They're coming in the park, letting the full-backs up the outside. A very fluid system that they're playing. It's the one Paul Le Guen tried to implement at Rangers, but didn't quite manage it.
Cameron Azy takes the ball for a walk, past Gattuso, onto De Rossi onto Zambrotta. Cameron Azy's made a decent run too. De Rossi tries to get away from Brown. Hartley picks up. That's the wrong time to make a turn. And Craig Gordon can only just thump it straight down the middle. Materazzi waiting. Former Perugia man. His dad was a former boss of Lazio. Football in the family. That's a neat little header through. Toni goes in. Craig Gordon wanted it. Di Natale again, just a little flick header. Toni makes the run. Good challenge across by Cannavaro. Kenny Miller forcing him to play it. Buffon waits. So do we, as Gary Naismith takes an eternity to play the ball in. Kenny Miller almost got away there. Good turn from Kenny Miller, just nearly snuck through.
Yeah, the problem is they're just trying to do a crossover run there, Kenny Miller and Lee McCall, but they're too close to the thrower of the ball.
Ferguson trying to find McCulloch, here to play again. Scotland should have just used that quickly. Miller to Ferguson, immediately looks to see who's around. Paul Hartley. Gary Teal very tight on that side. Scotland yell for the ball, but they won't get it. De Rossi wins the throw for his side.
It's interesting again that Alec has played Paul Hartley as the deep-lying midfielder, which is, you know, he's best known for his surging runs forward. But if anybody's getting forward and support is Barry Ferguson, and Paul Hartley's trying to tidy up. I think he does that job quite well, but I think it does take away from his general game.
Simone Perrotta. Ball back in field. Gattuso on to Toni. Toni again. Well, you've heard of the Toni Awards for theatre. He should certainly have a bucket full of them. Naismith to Hartley, just no way through for Scotland at the moment. And another long ball played. Materazzi, well, unconventional, and frustration grows for the Scotland backroom staff.
Yeah, Paul Hartley's trying to a World Cup willy ball there. He's capable of playing them, but I think it was only just bounce it off Barry Ferguson, keep possession of the ball.
The World Cup champions struggled at the start of the group. Lithuania took a point in Italy. They won their match against Ukraine and then against Georgia. They did lose to France at the Stade de France, but they're playing with confidence and composure.
They are, but the annoying thing from Scotland's point of view is they haven't actually cut Scotland open at any point. You know, it was one really poorly defended free kick, which I'm sure if Alex McLeish had been playing and they said they would just have knocked away. So that's the annoying thing about it. I don't think Scotland are playing fantastically well, but they're certainly containing Italy quite comfortably at times.
Well, Materazzi fell by Lee McCulloch on that occasion. As the Italians controlling the tempo. Perrotta neatly forward. Di Natale. Di Natale on to Odo. Odo to Camoranesi. De Rossi. Little flick forward. Battling for it. There was Perrotta once more. McCulloch couldn't get on the end of it. Bad news for Scotland. De Rossi. Gattuso. Zambrotta is wide open on the far side. Camoranesi continues down the right. And Barry Ferguson, who was booked in the last minute on Saturday, was a little challenge from behind.
The worrying thing was, it was a foul, a bit of frustration with Barry Ferguson, but it's just the area that the Italians scored the first goal from.
Well, Scotland in it at 1-0 down. They don't want to be trailing by 2 going into the break. Half-time fast approaching. We're in the port city of Bari. Odo again, prepares to deliver. Header won by Weir. Di Natale. Italy. Cameronese was waiting for it. McManus that time away. Although high into the air. Missed by Materazzi. Well, that's a poor challenge. Ill-advised challenge going in. The stud showing Italy just as a smile, and he knows why. He side won the free kick at the expense of Graham Alexander.
Yeah, he was just late, wasn't he? You know, he was never ever going to get the ball there. Crucial moments for Scotland.
So again, plenty of traffic in the box. A yell for Scotland. McManus heads it away to Rossi. Almost with a delightful ball into Cameronese. Scotland with an opportunity to break. Brown holds up. Wasn't taken down according to the referee. Or he was. Well, the referee just not bothering to signal. He just ran into the Italian half. And I think that confused a few of the players.
Yeah, it confused me. I thought he'd given the full and I thought he hadn't. Then he did give the full. But a good play forward there of Scott Brown again.
1 minute of additional time to be played. Can it be a special 60 seconds for Scotland? Ferguson with a loop up onto Hartley. Furthest forward he's been. Onto Miller. Miller racing for it. Gets the ball across McCulloch. That's as close as Scotland have come. Lee McCulloch almost in there, but they needed somebody making a run at the back.
Yeah, well, Lee McCulloch had to make the near post, and hence there was nobody around the back area. Because if there had been, he'd had a tap in.
More encouraging for Scotland. Ferguson onto Brown. Naismith on a good overlap. 2 in the box. Naismith, that's a decent ball over. Kenny Miller almost in. Well, Kenny Miller coming in at the back post and almost getting there for Scotland.
I don't want to be too harsh on Kenny Miller because he's working his socks off. For me, he's got to score there. All the pace is on the ball. He's timed his run, I think, really well. Just got to direct on target. Unfortunately, we wanted Kenny Miller around the near post there and let Lee McCulloch go and attack that type of ball.
The referee looks at his watch and blows the watch, and Scotland's hearts have been broken in the first half by Luca Toni, who, when he stays on his feet and isn't diving around, can spring in the air nicely to head a ball home. Ono was the man with the free kick. A decent ball in, but all alone was Luca Toni, and that's precisely what he's there to do. Top scorer in Serie A last season with 31 goals. It's 11 now for his international career, and he celebrates in familiar style. Half-time here at the San Nicola Stadium in Bari. It's Italy 1, Scotland 0.